Do you have ugly walls you want to cover? Well, with Shiplap, it is so easy. You can definitely do this yourself. Shiplap is engineered wood to cover walls. This is pre-finished, no painting, no staining required. There's particle board on the back side and pre-finished on the finished side. They've made this easier on us than ever before. Now, where to install it? I would say an entire room is too much. Just do an accent wall or anywhere where you have an ugly wall you need to cover up, perhaps old paneling, a damaged section of a wall, an accent wall in a bedroom. You can go directly over studs like we will here, or you can go over finished walls like paneling or drywall. You can go directly over drywall. This pre-finished shiplap can be installed horizontally, vertically, even diagonally. Get creative here, it's up to you. Do you need any fancy tools to install this? Absolutely not. You can use a trusty hammer and nails or a screw gun. These nail guns are $400 a piece, but you don't need it. A finished nail gun will make your life a lot easier and the project will go a lot faster. However, if you don't want to drop hundreds of dollars, investigate renting these. These are only 20 bucks for a 4-hour rental period. You are going to screw or nail directly into this tongue, and the next piece will cover your marks, so there's no finish work required. Shiplap is up to you. You can come in different colors, textures, and varieties. This is the wider plank. It also was sold in half of that width, narrower plank. So it just depends on the look you're going for. Do you want them horizontal, diagonal, vertical? Look at these options. People are so creative. Are you seeing these pictures? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? So in the home improvement stores, I saw that Shiplap came in small little accent pieces like 4 and 5 footers. Standard with the most choices seem to be these 8-foot strips. Gives you a lot of flexibility for average size rooms. I even saw online where you could order 12-foot long strips. That's pretty amazing. Now, if you're using power tools, keep in mind safety. Safety glasses are a must. If you are renting it, they should be provided in the nailer kit. This particular nail gun, you simply pull back and you insert the nails back here. They drop right in. And then on the battery pack, you insert it once. It's actually still in the off position. You press and depress even further. And then when it snaps in the second time, it's actually on and ready to go. The gun will not fire until the safety tip is depressed up against your surface. Stick around later in the video. I'll show you a larger accent wall, but this is the frame that I just built because this is a small office and the tenant wanted better division between the rooms. This is a perfect application for shiplap. You know, you don't have to put drywall and then do 3 coats of joint compound and tape and sand in between and have multiple visits. This is pre-finished. It's a one and done. You're going to love it. Now, in a perfect world, you might want to measure first before going over studs, so you could cut to finish one directly on a stud. Although I will tell you, this is a non-structural, non-load bearing wall, so I feel okay with having seams in between the stud location because the next piece will pick up that strength and it won't flap and it'll still look symmetrical. Now remember, if you can avoid it, you don't want to put a fastener through the face of the shiplap. You'll be making your life more difficult. Try only to secure on that tongue because the next piece will have a groove that drops down over that and it will look sharp. Okay, the gun is ready to go. Now, if you're installing shiplap directly over drywall or plaster, you do want to try to hit the studs. You don't want to go in the hollow core areas. I'll give you a tip. If you don't have a stud sensor, on the left or the right of your outlets, there's always a stud, and you can kind of just peek in there and find what side it is. And then you can simply mark the location of your stud with painter's tape. Look at this, 1.5 inches, just like a stud. And then just make sure it's plumb and level. And you can mark the stud locations in your walls so when you put the shiplap on, you'll know exactly where to nail. To load this particular angle finish nailer, you simply pull back this and drop the angle nails in. There's a groove back there, and they'll just drop right in. And then when you release this, they'll push on them, just kind of like a stapler. It pushes it down. Keep in mind, don't use the excuse that you don't have power tools not to do a cool project like this. You don't need a screw gun or a hammer or a nailer. You only need one of the 3. You can absolutely do it with or without power tools. Okay, so if you have any fasteners that are protruding out like that, you are going to have to deal with that before you slide your next piece in. The nail gun wasn't flush enough. because if you have a fastener that's protruding out like that, the next piece won't drop in and the reveal line won't look consistent. Now remember, I said these come pre-finished in 8-foot sections, so inevitably you will have to cut probably. You want to design your cut so your factory edge is to factory edge because this is pre-finished material. So we want the cut over here on the left side against the wall. That will be covered later with either caulk or trim. Okay, we do have some play here, but if we cut 68 inches, that's going to get us close enough so the edge looks good. Okay, so we marked 68 inches from the end, and this is going to be the left side. That's the side we wanted to cut. And then just do a straight edge. If you marked on the top and the bottom, any straight edge will do. A square is perfect for this, but if you don't have a square handy, just use a straight edge. Okay, so for a chop saw or miter saw, there's the edge. That's pretty good. That actually might be good enough to do factory edge, but in this case, we lucked out in this room. This will be hidden in the corner later, so nobody will see it. All right, so again, that factory edge, that's what you want to be as identical as possible, so the next piece will be able to fit in between. Okay, ready for your next course. Probably don't want to line up your seams. That won't be an attractive look, so stagger your seams. Okay, it dropped in and we have that nice reveal. So that's a factory edge reveal. So you have that shadow line. It's a pretty neat look. And now let's just nail her off. Okay, this one was 68 inches and we wanted the raw cut on the right-hand side. All right, stick around just a touch longer. I want to show you a larger accent wall so you can see what the finished product looks like. But this is just closing up a small office room. It was a perfect project. It was quick and easy. There's no finish work other than we have to finish painting these offices. And there'll be a little bit of trim on the left and the right. Okay, over here, the office tenant had a built-in desk, shelf, whatever you want to call it. And initially they wanted that ripped out, but then they decided they liked it. So that's why we're framing out around it. This was a pass-through and they wanted that enclosed. So there'll only be one door to this office, but you can do this in a bedroom or anywhere you want. On to the final course. We did find the top one was too wide for our existing ceiling, so we have to rip it down. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, to rip down a long piece like this, I'm just going to use the trusty circular saw. You actually could do it with a hand saw, but I think it might chip up the pre-finished edge. I've already measured and I know where my markings are to take off that tongue and just a little bit more, so this final piece will fit perfectly up against the ceiling. The wall is done. You've done it. I knew you could do it yourself. Shiplap installed by a DIYer. Hey, you can do this stuff. Let me know if you have any questions down below.